Welcome to Destination Marriage, a podcast about successfully navigating the winding roads of marriage. Whether you're newlyweds, engaged, looking to get married, or have been married for years, we want to share with you how we have navigated those winding roads over the past 19 years in our marriage.
Join us on this journey as we talk about real-life experiences in a marriage and what we have learned along the way. We discuss love, travel, fitness, raising kids, friendships, and much more, all from the perspective of our lives together.
Happiness, love, grace, passion are some of the things we all strive for in a marriage, and we invite you to take this journey with us.
Welcome to Destination Marriage.
Welcome to episode 36 of Destination Marriage. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Tommy.
And we are thrilled you have joined us on this journey today.
Yes, indeed. We are back in the seats together. We've done a couple solo episodes, a lot of busy things in life going on. So it's exciting to be back in the saddle again with my love.
It is. I've missed you, babe.
Indeed. All right. So what are we talking about today, sweetheart?
Yeah. So we are talking about a popular show called Married at First Sight.
Yes.
I fell in love with this show years ago, and I may have brought Tommy along into this show.
Yeah.
Maybe initially unwillingly, but now he's hooked.
I'm not hooked.
Well, you're getting there.
I will say that I've been very dogmatic about, I don't want to watch this crap. And then I'm like,
what's happening?
I'll leave like for 20 minutes and then I'll walk back in the room. Hey, what'd I miss? So I admit this one actually is kind of intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I mean, there's the US version, and then the one in Australia, I absolutely will never watch again. I'm sorry. Like if that's on TV, I'm walking out of the room. One's just
completely
fake.
different. It's not even a real marriage.
That's what I mean. It's completely fake. It's just another reason for people. They're all clearly there just to get on TV.
Right.
It's stupid. Don't watch that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want something to just mindless entertainment.
If you think it's a real marriage show, then it's not.
It really isn't, actually. I read up and it's not. They're not legally married at all.
It's just, yeah.
So those of you, if you're not familiar with Married at First Sight, it's a reality show where singles sign up for the opportunity to put the fate of meeting their future spouse in the hands of 3 experts. So they are... At this point, once the experts choose who those singles are going to be, the lucky singles, they have committed at this point to blindly, essentially, marry someone and, be a part of
legally married.
Legally married, yes. The wedding, everything, it's legal. So this season, it was filmed in Atlanta, and 6 couples have been matched, married, and are now living together in a temporary home provided by Married at First Sight.
Which is kind of the way they've changed that, right? Because it used to be they would move into one of their houses or apartments or whatever.
They would. And you know what? I think that they found that was maybe a little too challenging, because then it would immediately
it's like you get married and you've been moving into, right. That's tough.
And not only that, I think some people were living in a space that was much too small to bring someone else's pets, or because I've noticed a lot of the matches, they each have like 2 or 3 dogs. Then what do you do? So now they actually offer them an apartment, and what they've learned as well is to keep all of the couples. Actually, I believe they're on the same property, maybe not next to each other, but it probably makes it easier for filming, I would imagine.
Yeah, because they were all over the place before.
They were.
Yeah, so it probably saved money, but also they're able to produce the show more effectively.
Right.
And the couples get together and they can kind of talk to each other and
they provide support. And I actually like that. That's something that they changed. So they've added that, where now the couples, like all of the women, will maybe meet for like a coffee or a cocktail and just converse, because at this point they're not able to share any of that information, what their experience is. They're contractually, bound to keeping
filmed to some period in the past.
Right.
And I think it's I'd be interesting to see statistically if that helps the success rate. Mm-hmm. So on that note, I will give you some quick overview if you guys are saying, oh, it's all fake. So here's, I just looked up the actual numbers, and it's from the most reliable source on the internet, Wikipedia. Mm-hmm. But
always accurate.
It says through 11 full seasons, they've had 39 couples who were originally married. Mm-hmm. And then, so tell them what they get to do. So after 6 weeks or 8 weeks, they have what they call decision day.
They have decision day. They get to choose, and they're each asked individually whether or not they would like to stay married, or would they like to break up, and then they'll just annul the marriage at that point. I guess it's not an annulment. Whatever the legal word would be
at that point. Yeah. That episode. Whenever they do that episode, that one really annoys me. They draw it out so long. It's like
there's like a million commercials.
Yeah. So of those 39 couples.
Yeah.
On Decisions Day, 24, which was 60%, decided to keep going and stay married.
Stay married. Okay.
And then at some point in the future, half of those 24 couples divorced. So there's 12 divorced, 12 couples still together.
Okay.
As of today, which is 30%. So their success rate is not real good. Lower than just average marriage, in the household. Marriage,
yeah, but I mean,
I guess divorce rates in the United States.
But this is also very unique, right? I mean, this is a unique experiment. They're not meeting each other until
no, I understand,
the wedding day.
But they're quote experts. They're saying this is why. That could be a whole sociological episode of why these experts are not experts, or they are experts, or why they're wrong. Why do people fall in love? I mean, there's so many ways we could go down, but it does provide.
I definitely want to touch on that. I'm going to circle back with that because I actually have. Well, we'll get there, but I.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, you got some sociological experimental data.
Yeah. We're the experts now.
Yeah, right. Versus the 12 couples or the 39 couples on this show. Yeah, we're experts. Mm-hmm. But the show does kind of provide a glimpse into real life situations, albeit unique, but they're real. I mean, they're dealing with real emotions and real family dynamics and things that real couples have to deal with.
Yeah.
So
obviously the difference is they're just meeting each other, but the scenarios and challenges they're experiencing, anyone really can experience this at any point in the relationship or the marriage.
And a lot of times it's compressed or accelerated really aggressively because the fact that they're facing all this stuff all at once.
Right. And when you're dating somebody, that's completely different than when you're actually married.
It is. I mean, legally it is. Emotionally it is.
Right.
Or is it? Is it emotionally different versus
I believe
when you
so.
get married and then you've just met the person? Is it emotionally different?
I don't know. I've never just married somebody the first time I met them.
Right, but based on what you've seen, what do you think when watching the shows?
Okay, so I would probably say maybe emotionally. I don't think the emotions maybe... Because they're not saying I love you to one another. Some of them are not consummating the marriage immediately. These are all... Wherever. Yeah. So, yeah, probably emotionally it's not at that level yet. And some of them, I think... If you watch different episodes, they'll even say, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Or this doesn't feel real. Did I really just do this? So maybe the reality of it doesn't actually hit till later. Mm-hmm. So,
and it's hard. And it's also TV. We all know that it's reality TV. So it's we don't know what the editors did to it to kind of over dramatize things or
that's true.
Draw things out. Who knows? But so what do you want to discuss today about Married at First Sight, baby?
Well, now that they're a few weeks in and they've actually moved into their homes, now they're actually really kind of facing a lot of real life issues. And so I thought it would be really fun to just kind of go over kind of a snapshot of where they are now, what their current challenge is. And
they all have kind of unique...
They're all unique.
Very unique challenges.
They're all unique, but they're all also very real. And even though obviously for them, they may be handling it different than maybe a marriage that has the foundation of dating for a couple of years, these are also issues that can make or break any relationship or marriage, or at least cause some serious speed bumps along the way. So I thought it would be good to just kind of go through and give our own commentary. We're not the experts, but still give our own commentary. They've put it out there, so.
They're making money off of it. Yeah. They get to deal with us.
So the first couple, I actually like them a lot, is Victoria and Eric. Victoria is 26 and still really accustomed to going out and partying with her friends on a regular basis. She also has a really close group of guy friends. I would say probably most of the friends she's actually shared on the actual show are mostly male, which is fine. I mean, if you're single and you have guy friends, more power to you. But, she's married now and she's still very close to those guy friends and her ex-boyfriends as well on social media. So she likes and comments on their posts pretty frequently. And her now husband, Eric, who's 34, he's also a pilot and very regimented, not a partier. They're having a little bit of a challenge there with the lifestyle. But he recently said in the last episode to her, I'm really concerned or I'm uncomfortable with you commenting and liking the posts of your ex-boyfriends. Why do you follow them if you're no longer a part of their life? Her response.
What'd she say, yeah?
her response was, well,
I missed this part of the episode, so.
yeah. So she responded and she said, well, I'm friends with them. There's really there's nothing to it. You know, I'm friendly with them. We still ended on a good note. Why wouldn't I like or comment if I'm going to follow them? That would be weird to follow them and not like or comment.
This is a real situation, but this is almost like the short answer is he's right. Period. In a marriage.
Oh, I 100%
Right.
know that you would
No.
have an issue if I ever did that.
And you would too, if I was,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
of course. And we
I'd be
each
like,
should.
delete.
We each should. We each should. Mm-hmm. That's appropriate in a marriage. And, however, this is typically an issue that maybe comes up during dating. And so,
Yeah.
you know, it's hard to,
Or maybe not.
She's maybe not there emotionally yet, or I don't know if emotionally is the right word, but kind of, maturely, I don't know.
I mean, there is a significant age gap. She's 20.
Right. But what I mean is
26?
like, that's kind of one of those things. It's like, okay, you get engaged and, you know, you've been dating and then you get engaged and you kind of discuss these types of things. And they also were discussing like passwords and social media accounts and like,
Right.
so that's a discussion that should happen. The fact that she's, it leaves a door open, period. It just does.
Yeah.
It just does. So there shouldn't be no contact with exes when you're married.
I agree.
That's something you cut out of your life. You're not part of that life anymore.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be an ugly thing. It's just that chapter is closed.
Mm-hmm. You move
What's
on.
the need? Yeah. Where's the need and still keeping that open communication?
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Right. I just think that it's accelerated right now because they're married. Now they're having this conversation after they're married and they've been doing well.
Yeah.
I think honestly that's not as big of an issue in their marriage as her partying and his very regimented, for a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as an airline pilot, he has a very strict schedule and he's a very
I would hope he doesn't want to wake up with a hangover and then go fly a
or
plane.
be drunk. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Problem.
I appreciate the fact that he doesn't want to do that.
I think so. The kind of the general topic and the issue that they are just talking about on this week's episode,
Right.
was that. And it's just something you should do. And if you're unwilling to do that, your partner comes to you and they say, this bothers me. Here's why. I think it's inappropriate, blah, blah, blah. And they just blow it off. That's a flag. Or if you're the person that's saying, there's no big deal, they're my friend. Maybe really take a hard look at why you're saying that. Are you not letting go of something in the past, or holding on to it for some other reason? Are you holding on to that because you want to use that as a weapon? I don't know.
yeah.
There's some questions and discussions that need to be had there.
Yeah, I agree. And she did say when, after he expressed his concern, she said, I'm going to have an issue with that. Now, they decided not to continue the conversation at that point because he travels a lot throughout the week. And she said, I really want to enjoy the time that we have together because it is a short window every week. He's
Yeah, that's going to be
flying.
a bigger problem if that doesn't come to a kind of a resolution or some sort of balance. But that's one of those things you kind of discuss during dating.
Or do you? Maybe it's something like
Or
while you're dating,
during
you don't.
engagement, like...
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
There are some couples that maybe don't even share like passwords and stuff like that. So they maybe don't even know who their spouse is liking, following, commenting on. I know we both agree on sharing all passwords.
Right.
That's always been something we've agreed on. But there are couples that don't do that. And I believe that can also create an opportunity
There's a
misstep,
trust,
or...
Yeah, there's a trust issue that needs to be explored, I would
Right.
think. However, you guys may disagree with that, and we're not here to make pass that
It's
judgment.
just our
This is
commentary.
But I mean,
may not be the rest of the
the whole
world.
password thing. We have this. We talked about this with like bank accounts too. It's like, well, I want to have my own bank account. Okay, but like we share. We have our own bank account. We don't have our own bank checking accounts. We have a joint checking account. You have business accounts and stuff, but
Yeah.
we have access to each of our everything, social media, internet accounts,
Yeah.
any
You name
emails, everything. Why, if you don't, why?
Right. I just don't think you should leave any room there
Yeah.
for dishonesty or lack of trust or just temptation,
Yep.
whatever it may be. In this case, I think it's an opportunity for them to grow. But but I'm on the same page with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So who is up next, sweetheart?
Clara and Ryan. I actually really like this couple. Just from day one, you can tell that they have like a good connection. Clara's 27, Ryan is 29. He actually hasn't been in a relationship for, I think, 5 years. And she's dated on and off. They both are really looking to find the right person.
Yeah, they seem like a good.
Yeah.
They're getting along very well.
They get along really well. Like they actually have fun together. They have a natural chemistry.
But
Ryan
won't have sex with her.
won't have sex. He will not consummate the marriage, and
she wants to.
Really wants to.
Isn't that odd?
I think it's.
That's an interesting. I mean, there was a couple that from what I don't even know how many seasons ago.
What's that?
She was a virgin. He wasn't. Found out obviously the day they got married.
Yeah.
And they were great together. Everybody was like really disappointed when they got divorced because he's like, and I honestly I don't blame him. It's like they were married for what, 6 weeks to 8 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
And she just refused to have sex. And it's like, you knew what you're married. You're not dating. No one would say I wouldn't agree with him after 8 weeks of dating.
Yeah.
But you knew you were married. You knew you were getting into it. And it was disappointing that they got divorced.
Yeah,
Everybody
I
liked them a
actually liked
lot.
them
They
a
were
lot.
really good. We were like, everybody was kind of rooting for them.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so
All
this
right,
one's
back to
different.
Clara and Ryan. Okay.
But it's so different for the
is.
guy that doesn't want to.
It's very
have sex.
unique.
What's his
But
rationale?
here's the thing. I appreciate his reasoning. It is very mature. So his concern is, I'm really attracted to you. They are still being very physical. They're just not having sex. But his concern is, look, I really want to build the emotional piece of a relationship. I want to be really stable and strong in that area because I have a concern that we may use our physical part of our relationship as a crutch when things get rough. You know, if we have a rough patch, we'll just turn to the physical rather than having that emotional stability in our relationship already in existence. That's his thought process.
And hers is more, I want to have sex in order to, that's how I can connect with you emotionally.
Right. Like I want to emotionally connect with you even more. I feel like I need that in order to do that. I don't know if I can give that to you unless we connect on this level as husband and wife.
So
where do they meet?
In a
the
vacuum, that sounds like scary. If I'm just looking at it, if I just heard that randomly,
okay.
I need to have sex with you in order to feel the emotional attachment. It's like, ooh, just in a vacuum, right? Just
that does sound
right.
I see your point.
Okay, well, if we wanted to diagnose that, but again, they're married,
but as husband and wife, when having sex with your spouse is also part of like there's a whole other level of emotional connection. So I see what she may be saying. At the same time, in a positive light, like I want to connect with my husband in that way, as husband and wife.
I guess the first thing that I thought of when from where he said I'm worried about it doing this and that is, dude, you're missing out because there's a lot of times where actually sex, that act of physical intimacy, can help in a marriage, in a an environment where there is there's a fight, there's something going on, not like something major, right? But like sometimes just having sex just washes it all away and just makes everything feel better. And then,
well, that's easy.
I said sometimes. I'm talking, you know what I mean?
teasing.
But you know what I mean? Sometimes it does. It
can bring you back together.
Right. And it'd be selfish or foolish to think, well, I'm not going to have sex. I'm mad. Well, sometimes once it's over, you're like, oh, what were we mad about?
Yeah.
Oh, nothing. Don't even remember.
But then, so that's healthy.
Not sweeping things under the rug.
Yeah.
Just clearing your head, or just kind of realizing how sometimes it takes something else to make you realize that what you were mad about that was stupid and didn't matter anyways.
But here's also something. She did ask this question. So, and I don't know if you had stepped out of the room, but she asked him, well, how do I know at what point? Is it like, you're going to tell me we need 10 more days of building emotional stability and then you'll have sex with me?
And what did he say? What did he say? Like, I just know when I know?
Yeah.
And
she's like, I don't know what we're working towards. I need to have that before decision day. Like, I want to connect with you in that way. It kind of puts an added pressure if that never happens, very similar to that other couple.
but they're
So then
doing
who's in the
everything
right?
else. So it's like,
Right. So who's in the right? I don't know.
again, you're throwing this, they met and they got married at the same time. Like, certainly after 8 weeks of dating, I would never think this guy's kind of being odd. Mm-hmm. Right?
No, but they're married.
They're married.
Just like the other couple. You said the very same thing. You would say, in that sense, they should consummate the marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wonder if there's more going to come out on him. Like, there's there's some history that's maybe preventing a wound, right?
Yeah.
Which would be fair. But let's be honest. I mean, maybe if both parts, both husband and wife in a marriage don't want sex, aren't interested in sex, they love each other, they enjoy each other's company, and they're both fine with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. But if one partner is going to not give the other partner sex in a marriage, that's going to be a major, major, major problem.
Right.
It just is.
Yeah, because you can see she was in tears about it. It
Already
almost,
3 weeks in.
because she said, I'm all about my husband. I'm attracted to him. Like, I want to connect.
She's
I
like,
love
I'm
spending
ready
time
to rock
with
and roll.
him.
All the other,
She's
these
like,
other men are like, buddy.
she even told him, she's like, I'm so into you. Like, we were great together. Like, we're having such a good time. And like, everything's really positive.
So do you think you
can see a fear in him that like he is scared of something.
I haven't really, I've been in and out of the room when you were watching that episode. Mm-hmm. Do you think that there is fear, or is he super manipulative?
No, I don't think he's manipulative
Okay.
at all. I think he's a really genuine guy. I think he is really fearful of moving too quickly. And
like getting married without meeting your partner. See, that's why I think this is BS. Like, how can you're playing both sides, buddy.
yeah, I guess
I feel
when you
like
put
you're
it that
playing
way,
both sides.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to, I really just want to make sure it's right. So I'm just going to marry somebody blindly.
Mm-hmm. She did then also say maybe he's a virgin, and he didn't disclose that.
Yeah. It's a fearful thing, right?
In that sense.
Oh, I know. I'm scared. So I'll just go on national television and not have sex with my wife for 3 weeks. It just, some of this stuff doesn't add up. What's the motivation on the front end, and now the motivation now that they're married?
Mm-hmm. Now that they're married, and usually it would be flipped the other way around. She's the sexually frustrated one. But I do think she wants to connect with him on an emotional level. It's not just a physical thing. That's obviously a piece of it, but
so there's both some issues there.
Mm-hmm.
And, has she leaned on that in the past? Which there is that kind of, there's like, I mean, it's a known thing, right? I mean, guys do it too, but like when a lot of times women get this belief that's the way to a man's heart. So maybe she's conditioned to that way. I hope not, but
I just thought it was like baking or like making food for you. That was the way to your heart. Chocolate chip cookie?
No, I'm talking about like when there's a wound in a woman's side too, and she thinks that like physical affection from a man is the only way to win him over or to feel some sort of safety. There's all sorts of psychological ways. She did mention that she feels like in every relationship she's had previously, that was her way of taking that connection. So now she's trying to do it again, and I hope they work out. This one's kind of complicated.
I really do. I actually think they're a really great couple together.
Yeah, there's been some seasons where we watch me like, why are they still even in this?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I hope they do work this out. But there's some things to look at. So
I don't know how you meet in the middle there, though. Like, who is right and who's wrong? Is anybody really wrong? You need to have sex with your spouse regularly. If both parties want to, can, and if all of a sudden one party is not, one of the partners not, there's a reason. They're either using it as a weapon, or they've got some hurt, or there's something, or outside of physical issues or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, maybe there's something he needs to work through.
Yeah, there's some stuff there, so explore that.
Okay.
In your own marriages, right? And
yeah.
Kind of ask the why. What about Brian and Vincent? We're not allowed to talk about them.
Brianna.
We like them. Oh, Brianna. I'm sorry. I saw the
It's Brianna. Actually, they're
Brian
like the rock stars of the show. They don't really have any issues right now. They had like some minor things in the beginning that, she's just kind of an overpowering. She even said like, I'm a little bit of a control freak, but they've already ironed those things out. Even during the honeymoon, they're great communicators.
Together. Yeah, they just like hit it off right from the start.
They really did. And when there has been anything, I will say, anytime that one or the other feels like their feelings maybe were hurt, or they feel a little annoyed or irritated, they've expressed it.
That's important. Yeah.
walked away and came back to one another, which is really mature that early on in the relationship. So right now, I mean, they're probably the model couple, you know, they're doing really well.
Yeah. Cheers to them. Hope
Cheers
that
to them. I
they
hope
continue to communicate, especially with such a young marriage. I mean, they're learning each other while being, they thrust themselves into this situation. But I mean,
still, they're not actors. I mean, that they're being filmed.
Yeah.
That has to be
real
awkward.
life. Yeah.
That really does have to be awkward. So the next couple is,
I think they're going down in flames. I'm sorry.
I know, I actually don't feel good about them. I don't really, this couple I actually feel like was poorly matched.
I agree.
Yeah. So Haley is 28, and Jacob is 38. So significant age gap, which I really don't think works against a couple, but maybe in this sense a little bit. Haley is a really successful medical device sales rep, very personable, loves to travel. Jacob is an introvert. He's also successful software engineer.
Very professional, great shape.
Both really,
what does he eat? Like eggs and steak?
He eats steak and eggs every single day.
Which is a little odd.
So he's very specific about certain things. He's really obsessed with like the 80s. He likes to wear a fanny pack. Like
before she was born.
Yeah, like there's just things that are very
fanny pack. Does he really wear a fanny pack?
He wears a fanny pack.
Come on, dude.
So, but there's little things that, you know, I could see how the right person would think, oh, that's funny. It's cute. I like that about him.
Someone who grew up in the 80s?
The other girl would think, like, that's just not for me, which is Haley's situation. So when they went on the honeymoon, they immediately consummated. They both actually, you know, said on camera they consummated.
You're so just
what?
Well put together and just well versed. Well, they consummated. They had sex on their honeymoon.
They had sex. Okay. They became one. All right. Is that better?
No, just say they had sex on their honeymoon.
Okay. They had sex on their honeymoon, and probably within 24 to 48 hours.
That's how she speaks to me too, by the way. That's how she says. She says, "Would you like to consummate the evening?" I was like, "Yes, I would."
I think that only applies to like when you actually get married.
It's
Then you
the first time.
The first time
sex, right?
is consummating the marriage. Yes.
I know. You just like saying it.
Yes, I just like saying. Anyways, so they consummated the marriage, and then, like within a day or so, she was like ice. She just shut down, didn't want to spend time with him. And he finally was like, look, did I do something wrong? What's happened? I thought we were just really connecting and having a good time. We had sex. And she told him, I'm not attracted to you.
Yep. Yeah.
Which has to be a huge blow to the self-esteem. Like as a man, was the sex that bad? I mean,
yeah, to go from like, oh, let's have sex to I don't even want to sleep in the same room as you.
That's what I mean. Like it's immediately following that you're like, yeah, not feeling it. That really has to be.
To her credit, she told him.
Yeah,
she didn't like, you know, she didn't. She was open about it, and now his response. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but his initial response is pretty mature, right? He's like, hey.
Let's work on it.
Yeah. And so you were asking me, can that grow? And I think, yeah, absolutely. Attraction can grow to someone. Like it's kind of like there's all these, I think was it with the Atomic Habits, right? When they talk about like, as you pick up it's different, but I'm just going to give a reference. So as you start getting really good at a habit that's now become part of your life, you actually take pleasure in the act of doing the habit. Like, at first, if you're dedicated to working out, once you get into that groove, you actually take pleasure in the process of working out, not just how you feel or how you look afterwards. So similarly, like as you maybe
spend more time
and learn more about this person's heart and who they are and maybe what they do for you, I think that attraction can grow. Absolutely.
So I will say to her credit, she had tried when they moved into their apartment. They're living together in separate bedrooms. They're not really spending a ton of time together. I mean, literally when she's sitting on the couch, she's on the opposite end. And he even asked her, can we hold hands? And she said no. So she will spend time with him.
She's waiting it out.
But she doesn't want to even, I mean, holding hands, it's kind of like, he's like, look, let's just even hold hands just to try to have some type of connection.
Yeah, he didn't do anything to her that we know of. So for her to be that ice cold.
Nothing really, I think they've had a disagreement here or there, but nothing aggressively ugly has happened or anything like that. He hasn't misled her. He's,
Yeah, but this goes.
he's even changed some of the things that he's wearing. She bought him clothes and he even started wearing what she bought him.
And, yeah, but that's more like manipulative than. That's not going to all of a sudden make him attractive to her.
Maybe
but you
she
asked
thought
me
it
this
would.
yesterday, right? We were
Yeah.
talking about this one. I was like,
Can
yeah,
it build
but
over time attraction?
It can, but attraction is also one of the things. Physical attraction is one of the. That's the first thing you know about somebody. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, right? Like you see somebody, you meet somebody, then you start speaking with them, right? I mean,
When I first saw you, it was like
red curly hair. That's
immediate
right.
attraction.
But you know what I mean? Like so it's hard to like assess this. Mm-hmm. It's not that we're a psychologist, but it's like, okay, they just met and then she had sex with him. Like, nah,
But that's the thing.
it's harsh. But I mean,
It kind of goes against where they're married, go ahead and consummate the marriage. But then if she saw him at the wedding, because she did say, when I saw him and I walked down the aisle, I actually was really not attracted to him.
right. So she
then
wouldn't
she
have given him a second thought if they were out at a group of friends or they were at a bar or something.
Never, probably.
So, this is tough. This is tough. I just don't.
Do you think
Emotionally,
she jumped in too quickly into the physical, knowing that he was really
Who
attracted to
knows?
her?
Yeah, who
And she
knows?
wasn't
I
attracted to
don't-
him?
Yeah, I mean, probably.
Because then that cuts a little deeper for him, don't you think? As a man,
Yeah, of course.
Girls
Like,
like
wow.
afterwards, hey, I'm
No
not attracted
thanks.
to you.
Oh, by the way,
I'll
I'm
pass.
going to tell the entire world that's watching.
Yeah,
I think I don't see any path forward in this one. Sorry,
I really
just
don't.
They're and not just their fight. Obviously, she's gone ice cold for this, for the whole non-attraction. But
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. They don't have anything going for them.
they have no
Right?
spark.
Nothing.
Yeah, I feel like there's
No chutzpah.
no chutzpah. There's nothing there. Yeah, I feel like she's just completely shut down. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, there's several episodes still waiting.
Yeah, if I had to put my money anywhere, it's not on them.
No.
I just don't. Just don't like it. Don't like them. Sorry.
Yeah, I think
Don't
it's
like
a
the
bad
couple.
match.
Bad match.
It
I don't
was
see it at all. Yeah, we could diagnose that all day long. Like, where do they come up with this?
Yeah, I
group?
don't even know where that connection
They were
came
like,
from.
oh crap, we got to have 6 couples. You and you.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, why not? All right. So, what is the cherry on this cupcake of Married at First Sight? Let's
This one
diagnose.
is, oh my gosh, they're a doozy. By far, I think out of every season I've ever watched, this one is by far takes the cake.
Paige
as far
and
as
Chris.
train wreck. So Paige and Chris, by far experiencing the most challenge, the most challenges in their relationship.
So let's go back to let's go back to the season 1, or the first episode rather.
Yeah.
We both were like, oh, we really like Paige because
Yeah.
they do like a little bio and a little video about each person. They walk around their apartment, whatever, and they talk about their life.
Really sharp girl.
She's sharp. She's well educated. She's very
Well-spoken.
professional, very, very well spoken, and seemed like
She's
she
a
was
go-getter.
yeah, like in it for all the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then same with him. Like he's well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
There were some things he said we'll talk about looking back. It's like, but he seemed to be sincere.
Yeah.
Now again, is that the way they edited things or whatever? But he seemed like okay.
Yeah. That he was committed and ready to take that next step.
Correct. So that's setting the stage of our initial opinions of
Right.
these two.
Exactly. So Paige is 25. Chris is 27.
She's only 25?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were both older.
No, she's 25. She actually bought her first place when she was 22.
Yeah, she's in real estate and she's an accountant.
Yeah,
Like,
she has 2 jobs. Like,
yeah, she's sharp.
she's not playing around. She's serious about, I want to get my life in order. And she actually said, that in her family, it was divorce after divorce after divorce. She's like, I want.
didn't know that. I missed that.
Yeah, in her
That kind of-
interview.
I missed that. That
And-
may be some part of the rationale
Right.
of what's going on.
She's
Yeah.
like, I really want to break that generational thing that's happening in my family.
Did not know that.
I want my marriage to be the marriage that works. And
So I'm just going to randomly let somebody else make that decision for me. Okay.
yeah, so rolling the dice. Okay, here we go. All right, so Paige and Chris, they get married, have a beautiful wedding, go on the honeymoon. They also immediately consummate their marriage on first night. Okay, he tells her the next morning.
Well, he found out the next morning.
No, he did not find out. He found out like 2 days later. But they have sex 3 times. The night of the honeymoon.
I thought you were going to give the bombshell thing.
I'm going to.
Okay.
So first he tells her, I'm not really attracted to you. Okay.
After having sex 3 times in a day.
Yes. Then he leaves and he says, I'm going to go get us some breakfast or some coffees. Leaves the room. And he's like, well, you get ready for the pool. Doesn't come back for 4 hours. Disappears. During that time, he gets on a phone call with his ex-fiance. Okay. Who tells him over the phone that she is a few weeks pregnant.
With a child.
With a child.
His child.
That, by the way, she got pregnant while he had started this process with Married at First Sight. He was already in the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So that tells you what? He's not serious about this. If he's...
One would think.
I mean...
And they said they had, like, what was it? They had gotten back, like, at a funeral or like something happened.
They didn't get back together,
not together, but like they emotionally reconnected, and that led to the blah, blah, blah.
Right. Exactly.
She's pregnant.
So she's pregnant. He does not tell Paige, but the producers obviously overhear, and they are trying to coerce him and him, having him tell Paige. Eventually he tells her. He also tells her, I may want to get back together with her. Paige at this point is like, I'm going to try to work it out with him. I'm going to be patient. I want to be a good wife.
Well, we're all yelling, and I'm sure anybody that's watching this show is yelling at the TV, like, get the hell out.
Yes.
And they get all together.
Other couples.
With all the couples, like,
yes.
And they come in and, like,
obviously they share their opinion and they tell her, look, girl, you got to get out of this.
You got to go.
Yeah.
Like, no.
I mean, you're a great girl. You don't need to put up with this.
This is crazy. Yeah.
Because in between this time, he's also flip-flopping with her. There's one moment he continues to have a physical, relationship with her.
Yeah.
Playing with her mind and her heart. Like, that's not okay.
He is the definition of narcissistic.
I believe so.
And, like, he's playing emotional games with her. He's trying to get, like, I think he's trying to get, he's on the show for fame and fortune in his 15 minutes. And he's, playing and saying all the right things to the camera.
Right.
And sounding like, man, this guy's like a sincere, he wants to be the best father and husband he could possibly be. And then he's playing games with her. He's
definitely playing games with her, because here's the thing. First, he tells her they're packing up to leave the honeymoon before they go to their apartment. And he
storms off when the other guys are confronting him on stuff. I don't want to talk about it. It's personal. Yeah. It's like, dude, you're on national television.
Exactly. He rips his mic off.
Yeah, come on.
But Paige is very patient with him. She even asks him, like, what do you want to do? I'm willing to work on this with you. We can go to counseling, all the things, right? And he's like, I'm going to go out of town for a while. He doesn't move back into the apartment. She moves into the apartment by herself. He goes, I forget where he goes.
And then what happened on this past week's episode?
Yeah. So then he,
it's a doozy.
So then he tells her, I want to give it another try. This is after he asked her to meet with his ex.
Right.
Okay. That's now pregnant with his child. He thinks he's going to get his ex back too. So his ex actually tells Paige, you can have him. I don't want him. Right. I'm going to have the baby, but I don't want anything to do with him, which I think also bruised his ego a little bit. He tells Paige, I want to work on this. I want to get back together. Let's give it another try. Can we just have another chance?
I want to get back together after 3 weeks.
But he doesn't want to move in with her. And one of the things that he asked her for, first he also tells her, goes, yeah, by the way, my ex had gotten into a car accident a few years ago and doesn't have a car, and she's going to be bringing royalty into this world, a king or a queen. So I bought her a brand new Mercedes. I'm sorry, a what? A brand new Mercedes? She's like, a Mercedes, but Mercedes,
I'm sure he didn't, just stroke a check for it, right? So he probably has like a $700 car payment, some crazy thing.
Yeah, so now he's incurring some type of ridiculous amount of debt. But even still, she's like, okay, I understand wanting her to have a safe vehicle to drive the baby around. I get that. I would never even question that. But was there a real need to buy her a brand new Mercedes?
Right.
I'm your wife, right?
Like 2 weeks, then
but
off and on wife for the last 2 weeks.
If you want to work this out, you know what I mean? If you want to work this out.
Right. But that, again, he's, I don't believe he knew, obviously, that she was pregnant.
No.
Heading into it. But if you look at it, like the motivation, he's sleeping around while interviewing to be married.
I think he's
going through
games.
The process. He wants his 15 minutes.
I agree, because you know what? He could have even, the fact that he's coming back, I think he realizes if I walk away, I don't get any airtime anymore.
Yeah.
No one's filming me anymore.
Okay.
I need to, but hold on. There was another thing.
Okay.
She actually says in this last episode, one of the things that she wanted, she goes, I'll work on it with you, but there's little things that I need to. I would love, if you're not living with me, like, I want to hear from you every day. Call me or text me. And he said, like every day? I don't like to be tied to things like
Like a
at a
wife?
certain time. Like, I don't know if that's going to work for me on the weekends.
When I'm off doing what I want to do.
Exactly.
So I think everyone agrees, right? I haven't heard anybody be like, let's give him another shot. Everyone's like, what are you doing, Paige?
People
so that
are
begs
screaming,
the
I'm sure, at their
question.
television.
That begs the question, why is Paige still here?
For being such a strong, independent woman.
Right, given especially those reasons, right? With all of her, how educated she is and how driven she is and how intelligent she is. Is he that good of a manipulator? Are we watching a narcissist like spin a web right now in front with her? Are her beliefs that strong where she's like, these are my principles. He didn't cheat on me. I want to work this out. I'm committed. So I'm just going to do that until I'm going to just go that. I mean, I'm going to stay in that, follow those principles that she believes are her principles for this situation, I guess.
I think he's using her faith and manipulating against her. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because as soon as you you use religion or your faith to manipulate someone.
Yeah, I think
that's like an
using
extra
it as a
level
puppet.
of
It's just slimy.
narcissistic scumbag.
Yeah, it's real, and
he does it with such like
and he's very
an oh poor me, like I'm a victim type of path, which is like even more narcissistic, right? Because they're playing on people's emotions and not trying to overly control them, but like
He also told her, he goes, well, maybe I'm just scared I'm going to fall in love with you.
That's such a bullshit line. I'm sorry. Excuse my language, but I don't care. This guy really pisses me off the more.
Yeah.
But
I don't
we're
like
talking
how
about
she's being
Paige for a
treated.
second. Okay, so we don't think he's that great of a manipulator, right? That she is just starry-eyed and not seeing the forest through the trees.
Okay.
She's obviously intelligent. Is she just drawing this out to get her 15 minutes of fame?
I don't feel that. But I do think that, and this may sound terrible, but I think that there are some, like you said, some women that maybe needed the physical connection to have the emotional connection.
I didn't say that. The one blonde said that on the
girl,
show.
Yeah, she said that. Sorry. We were talking about her.
I say that like if you're
In her
having
scenario,
an emotional
yeah.
issue, that physical connection as a married couple can absolutely like just kind of reset things.
Right. I could be wrong. Okay. But I also think in watching this that Paige almost looks at Chris as though he's maybe a project. She's so,
How does that work out in this time, right?
I kind of think that she thinks that she can change him and that she can mold him and it's a challenge. And she's, look at all the things that she's already done. He's just another challenge. We can do this and I can make him this, a great husband. And we can overcome these things. And I kind of feel like maybe
the way
that's
most
her
marriages
thought
should
process.
start is a woman being like, I can change him.
Yeah. And, in the meantime, everyone else in that group
is like losing their minds that she's still around.
Both the men and the women have told her, look,
Like
you've
the
got to
first
get
time
out
it
of this.
brought up, they were like, "Oh, when are you leaving tomorrow?" Remember, one of them was like, she said they were like, "Oh, so you're leaving?"
heading
Like,
home?
yeah, when are you heading home? Kind of like everybody's like, "Oh, I'll go help you pack." Like this was like not even a thought that would happen, or
she's in it for her 15 minutes too.
Or do you think that the producers have decided to kind of, grease the skids a little bit, give them a little more money or something if they just stick this out a little bit instead of her just being like, I'm out?
You know what? I've actually seen that there are some people that have commented and said that very same thing. I think the producers are trying to coerce them and encourage them to stay
because they
know it's good for ratings.
And now people are talking about it on podcasts.
Yeah.
So who knows, right?
I mean, that's a possibility.
Maybe we're all being manipulated.
That's a possibility. But you know what? Here's the thing. I would be so pissed if I were her. I don't even know if they threw me like an extra $500, I'd be like, sure, I'll stick it out. I would just give him a verbal lashing and be like, I'm out of here, because I'd also want to stand up for all women out there that are being manipulated in this way. I mean, it's a very unique situation. I can't imagine this is happening all over the place. But even sticking it out, it kind of makes her look
there's a lot
weak.
of, it makes her look crazy.
Well, that too.
Like, I think there's a lot of, and maybe a lot of her rationale is just around the fact, well, he didn't cheat on me. It's not like he got somebody pregnant while we were, married.
That's true. Yeah, that didn't
that's not
happen.
what we're talking about. But still, it's like it just happened. They just got married. This isn't going to end well. The
Yeah.
bigger issue, and I think what's important in marriage is, and we talked about this with the nitpicking and nagging type episode, is be really careful about how you use your emotional abuse, not like, or emotional manipulation. Like it doesn't serve your marriage well, period. In any way.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have like ways of getting what we want, and sometimes it's flirty, sometimes it's fun. We all have issues that we have to kind of mature through and grow into, or know what hurts your spouse, emotionally. So don't go down that path, even if you don't think it's a big deal, or vice versa, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's just a narcissistic asshole.
Yeah. He's playing mind games with her.
Cloaked in his religion, his religiosity.
Yeah.
And I see right through the guy. I'm sorry.
I also, I feel like in other seasons.
And I'm not taking a lot of credit for seeing right through the guy. I mean, I think everybody else saw through him like in day one, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I also think that there's one thing that's a little frustrating here. And actually, one of the experts in this last episode had told him, and when they met with him, because the experts will come and visit, one of the experts told him, when we interviewed you, we met with a different person.
That's right. Yeah, he told me that.
From the moment we started filming, you were a completely different Chris than the person that we met. Now, they did say that, but I also think that they should have told Paige, look, we would highly encourage you to get out of this relationship. Because, you know what I mean? Like if they're experts and they really are wanting to also encourage healthy marriages, in this sense, I feel like it's making them look like...
Which they probably will have some version of that, like once they've gotten there. Once they've, gotten their airtime that they feel good about airing so they can get ratings. And I think that, the experts seem to be honest and in it for the right.
I like
they're
all of them.
professionals. They're all,
I do.
I think that and the guy you're referring to, he's the hammer a lot of times.
I like
with
Pastor
the guys.
Cal. Yeah, he doesn't pull
was that his name?
any punches.
He comes at him and he shoots him straight. There's no like, well, what do you think about, there's no therapy back and forth in those situations. He comes and we'll meet one-on-one and be like, dude, you're wrong. What are you doing?
But in this sense, I think if they feel like he's trying to get his 15 minutes, they should give him some less airtime, stop filming Chris for a while and see what he does.
Yeah. But who knows? They probably collect all this filming and then edit it and stuff. So,
okay. Yeah, that's true.
They're going to play. It's for ratings, but it's real life. I think this season seems to be more kind of poignant with the issues that the couples are having versus like sometimes it's like, man, they just don't stop fighting or they get along great, but these are like real marriage issues that are relevant. And I think, hopefully we can all learn from Married at First Sight.
Either way,
take all your marriage advice from Married at First Sight.
These are real issues. They're real issues. Baby. Yeah. It's just from a different perspective on their side because they're just meeting each other, but it doesn't mean that people don't experience this, later in life or in their relationship. But it's a really good show. I would encourage you guys to watch it.
I'll keep yelling at the TV and be like, I'm not watching this crap anymore, and then walk out and then come back in.
And then he'll come back.
What I miss? Because that's so you can a lot of times binge watch. This is depending on whatever I guess TV service you have. Like for us, we can watch it
like on demand. Yeah,
you'll watch back to back to back, and that's when you'll hook me. Because I never just will like, oh, it's on every Wednesday, so I'm gonna put a reminder in my calendar to watch it.
You have one in there.
But speaking of that,
if you guys do want to watch, it's every Wednesday on Lifetime at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. So
get your popcorn
because tonight,
and your
Wednesday
wine,
night,
and your wine glass,
and your wine glass.
TV.
You're gonna see what's gonna happen next. So we've already teed it up for you. If you want to see what's gonna happen next, you got to watch tonight, Lifetime, 8:00.
That's right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We had a lot of fun. It feels we've been discussing this one very heartfully over the last couple of days.
We have.
Well, I don't like, they're yelling at the TV quite a bit, but
it's entertaining. But we hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if so, please continue to listen and subscribe on Podbean, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. We would greatly appreciate positive reviews, and we will answer any questions at feedback@destinationmarriagepodcast.com. For up-to-date content and news about the podcast, you can follow us on Instagram at destination_marriage and visit our website at destinationmarriagepodcast.com. Be sure to tune in next week.